Top story now, and emergency warnings are being issued for communities near the Grampians National Park as crews there face disastrous conditions today. A total fire ban is in place for all of Boxing Day across the entire state. High temperatures and strong winds are expected, creating dangerous conditions. Now, crews are encountering difficulties in tackling the blaze at the moment, which has so far ripped through more than 40,000 hectares of land. Authorities have deemed it is too late for residents in Bournes Hill to leave and are asking that they take shelter. Residents in the area south of Pomonal near Redman Road, as well as Long Gully Road, are being told to also leave immediately. There are a number of other warnings in place for areas surrounding that area. But joining me live now for the latest update is Forest Fire Management Victoria's Chief Fire Officer, Chris Hardman. Chris, good morning. Thanks for your time today. Perhaps talk us through what's the current situation on the ground.
So thank you. The fire in the Grampians has grown to around 53,000 hectares. It's really a hard number for people to fathom, but it's got a perimeter, so the fire edge is around 300 kilometres in length. So there's an enormous amount of work for our on-ground resources and our firefighters to get across. We are seeing incredibly strong winds at the moment from the north, and that's going to continue on through the day. So there is a lot of pressure on those communities that you've just highlighted. But we're also seeing later this afternoon, probably around 5 o'clock, a very, very strong and dangerous westerly wind change. So under those circumstances, you can imagine all of those folks, all of those communities to the east of the Grampians fire, as we see it, will come under a lot of pressure. There is really great firefighting resources. Yep. Go for it.
Sorry, I was just going to say on that this situation is so fluid and can change so quickly. Talk us through what are the current warnings in place for which areas at this stage, because it is changing sort of by the hour at this moment.
I think the best advice I can give, obviously all of those warnings that you read out before, the best advice I can give is that those people to the east and the south of the Grampians fire, all of those communities will be at risk at different times during the day. So what's going to be really important is people have the Vic Emergency app downloaded and they're watching very closely as that fire progresses. And we can see that at different times, so Blores Hill, all of those people around Mafeking, Pomonal, Halls Gap later in the day will come under direct threat. So it's really important, it is so fluid, it is so dynamic, that anybody living in the vicinity of those fires in the Grampians has a very clear eye on what is happening at any given time. Have the Vic Emergency app. The emergency service broadcasters such as yourselves can make a difference and follow the direction of emergency services. It's always better to leave early. It's really critically important, because if you get on the road too late, that can be deadly.
Yeah, really great advice there. I mean, we talked about authorities on the ground there. How are they coping at the moment too? Because it is set for 39 degrees in Melbourne today. How are they going?
So we have a total fire ban right across Victoria. South Australia as well as suffering this extreme fire weather. So what we've got a number of fires in the landscape, 2 that are going and a number that have occurred over the last few days. And firefighters will be focusing on rapid first attack, because keeping new fires small will be the best way we can protect communities. What is really important is no fires in the open. If you're doing anything on your farms or in your properties that could cause a spark, such as operating chainsaws, machineries, they're things that should be avoided. Similarly, anything we can, community members can do if they're travelling. A lot of people are travelling today to holiday destinations. We would ask that you leave really early and get to your destination before the highest risk part of the day, and that will be before and after the wind change this afternoon. So the quicker people can get on the road and get to their destinations, that will be incredibly helpful to all emergency services.
And of course, we're also thinking of your crew on the ground there, battling this blaze as well in these conditions too. What are you expecting for the remainder of the day and then for the remainder of the week as well?
Yeah, it's going to be incredibly challenging, and I'm deeply grateful for our firefighters, both our Forest Fire Management Victoria, Fire Rescue Victoria and the CFA. We've all got hundreds and hundreds of firefighters out there doing their best to protect the communities. We've got people in incident management centres right across the state ready should new fires start. So incredibly grateful for all of that work, but it can be extremely challenging and extremely dangerous work. So we need to make sure everybody goes home safely at the end of every shift, and they will need to be very mindful of what the fire behaviour is. If we look at the Grampians just before and following that wind change, that fire behaviour is going to be very dramatic. We're going to need to make sure that we don't have firefighters and community in harm's way. So incredibly challenging day, people doing incredibly important work, so many folks out there, whether it's our aviation assets, people on our bulldozers and excavators, our forest firefighters and our Country Fire Authority firefighters that are absolutely looking at protecting communities as those fires come out of those forested areas. So I can't tell you how grateful I am for the collective efforts of everyone.
Oh, they are incredible, and it's particularly around this time of Christmas as well and being away from their families. Chris, thank you for the update there. We'll no doubt speak with you soon.
Thank you.